This isn't gonna work. Oh, that sucks so bad. Okay, so me and the hose have had words. It was an absolute arse. If you know, you know. What's going on, guys? Now we're back on with the mods today, but before we get started, there's just something I want to touch on really quickly. And that's the engagement in the last few videos. It's been so good, like so many of you have been commenting and liking the videos and letting me know, what you think, giving me tips of things I could do differently or, ways I could improve. It all really helps. Like, it's great to see, and it really gives me that motivation to keep going with these things. Some of you have even been messaging me on Instagram. Like, I'm really sorry if I can't get back to everyone. I do try and reply to like as many comments and as many messages as I can. While we're on the topic of Instagram, I am trying to be more active on social media, and Instagram in particular. So if you're not already following me on there, go check it out. It's Mend It Mod It on Instagram. I post sometimes little teasers, little photos of what I'm doing in the week before the videos go live, and sometimes I ask you to try and guess what I'm up to, whether I'm mending it or modding it. And I really like to up the engagement on that because, to be fair, not many people really get involved in those things. It's more sort of on the YouTube and the Facebook posts. So if you could go and check me out on Instagram and give me a follow, and you'll get a sneak peek of what we're doing before these videos go live. Anyway, let's get on with today's video. So today we're going to be relocating the power steering fluid reservoir. Now, this is quite a common mod to do to these, and there's some good reasons why you would do it. And there are kits you can buy to do this, but they are quite expensive for what they are. So, you know what I'm like, we're going to try and do this a little bit cheaper. Now, some of you might not call this a mod because one of the most common reasons for doing this is because, well, the location of the old power steering reservoir. It's so close to like hot parts of the engine that the fluid basically cooks, and I guess it sort of breaks down and it just doesn't do its job properly. If the fluid gets really bad, you end up getting whining noises from the pump, and eventually the pump will probably fail. Now, there are other reasons why you might relocate your power steering fluid reservoir, and I'm not going to tell you what that is in this video. If you know, you know. But it's definitely something we're doing. It's already here. It's inside. So if you know what that is, and that's something you want to see, and you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do. Otherwise you might miss it. Now, like I said, you can get kits to do this, but they can be quite expensive. I think the cheapest that I've seen is about £110, and then I've seen them anywhere up to like over £200 for a kit to do this. So with this being a DIY channel, I thought, let's see if we can get the bits together and actually do it a bit cheaper. Now, some of the more expensive kits use silicone hose. I haven't got that, but I think this will do the job just fine. So I'm going to show you what we've got, and then I'll show you what we're going to do, and then we'll get the car up in the air, and we'll get this power steering fluid reservoir relocated. So let's show you what we've got here. So first of all, you're going to need a new power steering fluid bottle or reservoir. So what I've got here is the bottle of a Ford Transit Connect, or I believe it's also the same bottle that comes on the Ford Focus Mk1. These come brand new if you buy the kits, but I managed to get one secondhand. Does need a little bit of modification though, which they'll do for you already if you buy the kit, but basically you're going to use this bracket here to mount this to the side of your battery tray. The next thing you're going to need is an adapter for where your original power steering fluid reservoir plugs into the pump. So you can get these, again, they come in the kit, but you can get them separately. I found this one on eBay. I would take it out of this pipe and show you, but I did push it in there just to test fit it, and now I can't get it back out. So basically it's just a little, I think it's a billet adapter that, like I say, it just plugs into your power steering fluid pump in place of where your original reservoir is, and then you can attach a hose to that and run it to the new reservoir. And you'll need some sort of hose clamp to clamp that on there as well. It doesn't come with that, but it does come with the 2 bolts that you need to attach it to the power steering pump. And then obviously you'll need your hoses. Now, like I said, the power steering fluid reservoir that's already on the car plugs directly into the pump, so there's no hose to replace there, but you will need a hose to run from that adapter to your reservoir. So what I've got here is some 16mm internal diameter hose. It is oil or fuel hose, so it should be fine for this application, and the pressure rating is 20 bar or just under 300 psi. So that's the 16mm internal diameter, which is the feed from the reservoir to the pump, and then you'll also need a return, which is going to be a 10mm internal diameter pipe, which goes from where the original return line is, which you can remove and then run this directly to the return line on your bottle. I've also got a range of different size hose clamps that you're going to need to clamp the lines to the bottle and to the adapter that goes onto the pump. So I'll run through a breakdown of exactly what all this stuff costs and compare that to what the kit costs at the end of the video. So make sure you stick around for that to see just how much cheaper you can do this job if you decide to go down the DIY route. So the first thing I'm going to do is modify the new power steering fluid reservoir. We need to remove this little bushing here, cut this notch off, and then drill 2 holes in this bracket so that we can mount the new reservoir to the battery tray. Then we're going to jack up the car and drain the original power steering fluid reservoir so we can reuse the fluid later. I would like to get it changed, but I can't get hold of any new fluid today. So to do that, all we need to do, we need the wheels off the ground. We'll disconnect this return line here, which we are going to be replacing, but you disconnect that, put it into a bottle, and then you turn the wheel from left to right, and that should force the fluid out of the reservoir, through the pump, through the steering rack, and then back from the return, and then you'll catch that and we can reuse that later. So let's get the new reservoir modified, and then we can get on to removing the old one and then running the new lines. Okay, so just to quickly show you, the reservoir is mounted. Now, normally what you do with this when you get the kit is you'll just sort of mount it directly to the tray, but it didn't quite sit right. It was off at a bit of an angle, so I've used some plastic spacers that I found. It just sits it out a lot nicer, because otherwise you've got like the top of the bottle catching on the corner here, and it sort of has to lean back at an angle, and then you're not going to get an accurate reading. Well, I was going to say an accurate reading on your fluid levels, if you can even see them. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to read those, but it'll be pretty obvious. So now the next job is to get the car in the air, and then we need to drain the original reservoir, and then we can work on removing this, which I think is going to be a bolt there. There's a bolt there, just to the left there, and then there's another one. I can't get the camera in there, but it's literally just under this edge here. It's like right there. So we'll remove those three, and then we should be able to get the bottle out. Okay, so now it's time to fit our little adapter. This is the little adapter stuck into the end of the hose. Like I said before, I test fitted it in there and it just got stuck. I can't get it off. I am going to put a hose clamp on here, but I need to put it in place first before I can do that, because otherwise I won't be able to do up the bolts that hold it in. This is actually going to be quite tricky because I've got to get the hose down in here. I'm not actually sure if I'm going to have enough room, you know, to bend this into place. No, I've got too much of a kink in the pipe. This isn't going to work. Oh, that sucks so bad. Okay, so me and the hose have had words, and we're going to see if we can come to an amicable solution. So basically what I'd done before, the way I already had this on, I was kind of going against the natural curve of the pipe. I'm guessing the way I had it bent, well, I could see from the way I had it, it was bent the opposite way. So what I've done is I just cut back a piece of the tubing, because I could not pull it off the adapter at all, like it just wasn't coming off. So I just cut that back and snipped that off, and I've put it on going the other way. I'm a bit annoyed that it's going this way around because the writing's facing upwards. It's kind of the reason I did it the other way around, is so I wouldn't see all the writing, but I'd rather have it functional and not kinked so it doesn't starve the pump. Remember to put the O-ring back on. There we go. But yeah, I've noticed if you do get the one with a kit, this first piece of the pipe where it comes out of the adapter here does actually have like I don't think it's a 90 degree, I think it's more like a 45 degree bend in it or whatever, but you know, that's one of the benefits of buying a kit. But I think we've got this working now. There's not really a kink in that pipe anymore, so I'll just keep an eye on that after the first few days of using it, and hopefully that'll be okay. Oh, there we go. We're just about there. It's taken about 4 hours to tighten those up with such little turns and my little Allen key. But yeah, the adapter's in. Now we've just got to run the line to the reservoir and then do the return line. I nearly forgot just to put a hose clamp around there, just to make sure that pipe is nice and sealed. That looks pretty good. And no nasty kink in the pipe. There's a little bit of a bend there, but there's no real kink in it, so I think we'll be fine. Right, next thing, we're going to remove this line just from that little clip down there, and we're going to run our return line all the way down the front of the engine bay, follow this one, and to our new reservoir over there. Now to remove this return line, you just need to cut off this little clamp here. Okay, so what I actually ended up doing was just levering a flathead screwdriver in that little clip there, and that just sort of pried it open. So hopefully now I should just be able to pull this off. Right, I got that stupid hose off. It was an absolute arse to get off. There's the other end of it there where it plugs on. So I've just got to put my new line onto there. It's just sitting over there, and then route that to the front here. Like, a lot of people take it up over the back there and then route it like round the back, then round the battery tray, and then up to the reservoir. But I mean, you're going, the idea is so it doesn't get so hot, and you're going over the exhaust manifold there. So, you know, I can't see that a short distance over here is going to be hotter than going over the exhaust manifold. I know there's a heat shield on there, but you know, hopefully that won't be there for too long. You can't run one of those in aftermarket exhaust, hint hint. So I'm going to route that, and then hopefully we'll be ready to plug it all into the reservoir. Just going to run a hose clamp down here just to where this new return line meets the hard pipe. Okay, so I got a Jubilee clip on that return line. We've got the return line run. I'm in a bit of a better mood now because we're really getting somewhere. I was in a honking mood a minute ago, but we sorted that out. So I've got the two lines run all the way underneath there, underneath the air filter, and up to here. I've cut them down so they're about the right size. Battery tray is obviously out again because I need that out of the way so that I can fit the lines to the bottle. And then I think I'm going to try and fit the bottle to the tray once it's in. But I have seen people remove the headlight to do this, so that might be an option. In fact, I might have to do that. Okay, so we're pretty much there. Both the lines are run, everything's plumbed in down there, all the hose clamps are on, it's all run down here, lines are cut, bottles fitted to the battery tray screwed down, batteries back in and all connected. Clamps are on the hoses down there at the bottom of the reservoir. What else? Oh yeah, right, so originally I had 2 spacers on each of those bolts going through there. Now I've only got the one. It obviously changed a little bit with fitting because I think it was because of the way the hoses are sitting, because they're rubbed up right against this. So hopefully they don't rub through there, but I think just the way they're sitting has meant that this sits slightly differently. It's not quite straight, but I mean, I shouldn't think we'll get too bad of a reading on the level. I'm going to leave the headlight out while I top this up just so I can see the level. So yeah, I suppose we've just got to pour some fluid into this and then bleed the system by leaving the cap off, I think, and then just turning the rack left, or the steering left and right a few times, and you know, force the fluid through. That should bleed everything out, and then we should be good to go. Fingers crossed it works. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the level is now just above the max, but I think once I turn the car on, it is going to draw some of that fluid through, because I'm guessing there's obviously going to be air in the lines at the minute because no fluid's been pulled through there, and there might be a little bit sort of between the adapter that I put in and the rack, because when I drain the reservoir, I think a little bit of extra air sort of got sucked down there. So this is the moment of truth. I'm a bit nervous, but oh well, we're going to send it. We're going to start the car. Like I say, that level should go down. I have got some more fluid I can top up with. Before I turn the car on, I have just turned the wheel slightly, and that has made the fluid drop slightly, so I'm just going to keep doing the rack a couple of times before I turn the car over. So I'm going to go ahead and top it up, and then I'm going to start the car. Okay, the fluid level dropped quite a bit when I started the car, so I'm just going to turn the wheels a couple of times and just see if the level drops again. The pump's making a bit of a noise, you can probably hear. Okay, well the level seems to be pretty happy. The pump's making a bit of a noise. I don't know if it's just going to take a little while to sort itself out. I mean, maybe it's something I need to look at a bit further, but it's going dark and there's not really much more I can do on it today. But at least we know the fluid's definitely flowing around, and I've had a quick look and I can't see any leaks or anything anywhere, so that's good. So that's really good, I'm really happy with that. So I guess now I just need to put the headlight back in and reassemble the front of the car. Okay, so it's actually the following day now. I've been driving this car around a bit and the steering feels, well, the same as it did before, so that's really good. You know, I'm hoping that means we didn't do anything wrong. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. Now, I promised you guys that I'd do you like a cost breakdown of what this cost me to do versus like what one of the kits cost. So I think I've said it earlier in the video yesterday when I was doing this. I think I said the cheapest one off the top of my head is around £110. So for me to do this, the adapter for the power steering pump was £25. The new reservoir was £15, and the hoses came in at about, I think it was £25 for the two. You need about 2 meters of each one. So we're all in for this, about £65. I'm not really counting all the like hose clamps, little like bolts and screws and things like that I used, and those washers and everything, because it's just stuff I had lying around. Yeah, okay, if you're going out to do this yourself, you might have to buy that sort of stuff, but I mean, it's not going to run you much more than, I don't know, £5–10 to get all that stuff that you need. I mean, look on eBay or something like that, and you know, you'll find what you're looking for. So, I mean, if we take the cheapest kit that you can buy to do this, like I say, I think it was about £110. So we're, what, just a little over half price to do this, like DIY, which is great. And if you wanted to go that, I think that kit is with the like rubber hoses like this use. You want the silicone hoses, the different colours. I mean, like I say, you're looking at, I can't remember the price off the top of my head, but some of them run up to like £200. So, you know, as a DIY thing, yeah, right, you haven't got the colours and stuff like that, but as a DIY thing, I think this is great. It'll save you a bit of money. And like I also said earlier in the video, this isn't just a fix or, you know, to stop that steering fluid overheating. This actually unlocks the door to more mods to come in the future. Like I said, we've already got those coming. Don't you worry about that. Anyway, that's going to end it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.